growing up in Hawaii, living the first 55 years of my life in Hawaii, I had the opportunity to be completely immersed in a multicultural, multi-ethnic, multi-religious environment. I was actually really, truly marinated in this energy and in this aura, because first the people who came were the Hawaiians, and they brought their Polynesian gods. And then after them followed the Caucasians from England and from the United States, who brought Christianity, and following them there were the religions of the Chinese and the Japanese and the Koreans and the Filipinos and the Portuguese and the Puerto Ricans and the Germans. And I mean, to tell you, we just about had it all. We had it all, and growing up in Hawaii, it was just really cool to be in that energy, that air, that flavor, and it made elementary school really fun because we celebrated everything. Everything. When it was Chinese New Year's, we had the lion dance, and when it was Christmas, we had a tree, and when it was St. Patrick's Day, we wore green, and when it was Buddha's birthday. Okay, all right, fine. This is what I remember. When we were older, we would make these lanterns, and we would have them because they symbolized Buddha's enlightenment. But when we were little, in the little kid days, we would take pieces of paper and we would cut out feet. Feet representing the footsteps, the path that Buddha followed. And then our teacher would take all these feet and she would lay them on the floor right out towards the playground. And we loved that. We really loved celebrating Buddha's birthday that way. Buddha's birthday is celebrated all around the world. Buddhism is the fourth largest religion in the world. And this day is important because the amazing thing is, for Buddha, 35 years apart, he was born, 35 years later, he was enlightened, 35 years later, he died. And this date is a combination or a culmination and a commemoration of all of those days. In Australia, they celebrate it with huge week-long festivals in Sydney and in Brisbane, and they bring in music and dance, and they have lots of amazing food. In Sri Lanka, it's a public holiday, and the people decorate their homes and their boats and their streets with all kinds of lanterns and oil lamps. In Thailand, they also have a public holiday, and they go to temples where they light incense and they share food, and they have rituals. Like at this temple, they take a candle and they walk around the temple 3 times while holding a wish. South Korea is one of the biggest celebrations of Buddha's birthday that the world has. And by day, they have these colored lanterns that they have everywhere. But as night falls, they bring out the priests, and the priests start all the parades very solemnly carrying these lanterns. And then the parades turn into something like you'd see in New York City with Macy's. They have giant blow-up floats that come down the road. About 2,640 years ago, give or take, there was a kingdom in the Himalayan mountains where they had a good king, and this good king had a beautiful wife named Queen Maya. One year during the Midsummer Festival, she had been out with the people celebrating and communing and sharing her love and beauty with them, and she decided she was tired and she wanted to go back to her quarters and take a nap. So she did, and she fell into a very deep sleep and had an incredibly vivid dream. In the dream, a giant white elephant came in and presented her with a beautiful white lotus. And in this dream, 4 angels came and carried her into the white peaks of the mountain, where the elephant then circled her body 3 times, and with his trunk struck her on the side and then went inside her. So when she awoke, she went to the king and she said, "I've had this incredibly vivid dream. What do you think it means?" And the king said, "Well, I will summon the 64 brightest, most brilliant Brahmins." And these 64 Brahmins came and they heard her dream, and they interpreted her dream like this. They said Queen Maya will have a son. And this son, if he never leaves the household, will become the conqueror of the world. And if he does leave the household, he will become the Buddha. Well, the king was very excited because this meant he had a son. Not only did he have a son, but he had a son that was going to be very special. And as she came closer to term, Queen Maya asked to go back to the place of her childbirth, or to where she was born, so she could have this baby. So they went along in a procession with her stately palanquin and 1,000 courtiers, and they came to this beautiful garden. She said, I must get out and walk. Queen Maya went out and walked amongst the trees, and when she reached up to touch the blossoms, the Buddha was born from her side without pain. He was born small, just like a normal baby, but not like a normal baby. He could walk and he could talk. He immediately took 7 steps, and from every place where his feet touched the ground, a beautiful white lotus arose. He then did a posture which people had not seen before, putting one palm down and one palm up. And he told the people who were there, the courtiers and his mother, I have come, this is my last rebirth, and in this lifetime I will gain enlightenment. Now that story is just really a jumble of symbols. The white elephant represents fertility and wisdom, and the lotus itself almost always represents enlightenment. But when it's a white lotus, it adds the mental and spiritual purity to it. And the palms symbolize the union that happens through the person between earth and heaven. And the 7 steps represent the 7 directions, north, south, east, west, up, down, and right here, the place where Buddha put his feet. For the longest time, and I mean 800 years, they didn't make statues of the Buddha as a person. To represent Buddhism, this faith, this philosophy that they followed, they used this symbol, which is feet. And there in the center of the feet, you can see the lotus blossom. So when people saw this symbol, they knew that the Buddha's presence and the energy of the Buddha was moving in and through the people and in and through the creatures in that place. The other legend that there is that Buddha himself would put his foot down and would leave a giant footprint on the earth. Something like that in stone. And Sri Lanka was one of the places where it was well known that Buddha put his foot down. And so what people held on to very often was the opportunity to follow in Buddha's footsteps. Hence, you have a footstep in your bulletin. A footstep for you to take home, and remember that you can always choose to follow Buddha's wisdom. And since it is Buddha's birthday, I thought I'd take the opportunity for us to look at some Buddha wisdom. The first piece of wisdom is a jug fills drop by drop. We all start small. We all start small, and with patience and perseverance and a choice, we can add drop by drop to that jug that represents our dreams. In Unity, we talk about how the fulfillment of our dreams happens one step at a time. We talk about how we build consciousness one heart at a time. The dream we hold for world peace and world happiness and compassion easily flowing between us happens one drop or one heart at a time, yes? Thank you, Buddha. The second one is, it's a man's own mind, not his enemy or foe, that lures him into evil ways. I don't know how to stop negative thoughts from popping up in my mind. I think that's human. That's what negative thoughts do. They stop and they pop up in our minds sometimes. And the gift is that we're completely empowered in our choice of whether or not to dwell on them. There's a proverb that says, You cannot stop a bird from flying over your head, but you can stop it from building a nest in your hair. Isn't that lovely? Because what that's telling me is that a negative thought can come into my mind, but I don't have to put clean sheets on the bed. And I don't have to feed it 3 square meals, and I don't have to give it a special tour of downtown Wilmington. I can build a condo for the good thoughts. I don't have to build a condo for the little negative thoughts. I can choose to build a condo for that better feeling thought. What we think about, we bring about. That's what we say in Unity. What we think about, we bring about. Say that with me. What we think about, we bring about. No bird nests. Thank you, Buddha. The next one is, however many holy words you read, however many you speak, what good will they do if you do not act upon them? Goodness is our birthright. Actually, greatness is our birthright. But we will not experience our greatness unless we take action to experience it. Unless we claim our greatness, we will not experience it. Unity principle number 5, take action. If it's to be, it's up to me. Together? If it's to be, it's up to me. There was no wiggle in that one. If it's to be, it's up to me. Say it one more time. If it's to be, it's up to me. Thank you, Buddha. Holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. This is so true. This is all about forgiveness. And in Unity, we believe that forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for ourselves. In fact, one of the ways Unity talks about forgiveness is giving for. Like giving love for. We give love for a wrong action. When we hold on to that wrong action, it lives inside us and becomes dis-ease. But when we give love for ourselves and the situation, then we can be free. Forgiveness is powerful. Say, thank you, Buddha.
Thank you, Buddha.
Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. And this is why. Peace is not a thing. Peace is not a thing. Peace is an experience we have when we are the union between heaven and earth. When we are that union, Unity believes that when we are in prayer and meditation, we are the union between heaven and earth. When we spend time in the silence, we can experience peace. When we open ourselves to the still small voice, we can experience peace. We are that union between heaven and earth when we go inside. Not out there, yada, yada, yada. It is right here. Thank you, Buddha. Thank you, Buddha. There is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. Well, I come to find out, Buddha never said this. But this is something that Thich Nhat Hanh says all the time. And he's a Buddhist monk, and therefore it's on the list. Because he uses it in his teachings. And really he's saying the same thing. Happiness is not a thing. Happiness is an experience. Happiness doesn't live out there, outside us. Happiness lives in here. And we can find it when we go inside. Now, there are any number of ways to meditate. There's the holy and sacred silence. We do that all the time. But there's actually something called laughing meditation. And in going on the internet to find laughing meditation, because I wanted to be very concise and precise as my service to you, I found this. Good, real, unrestrained, hearty laughter is a sort of internal massage, performed rapidly and automatically. It manipulates and revitalizes corners and unexplored crannies of the system that are unresponsive to most other methods. Plus, it just feels good to laugh. Give it a try and see how you feel. Nothing to lose but the blues. And then I want to draw your attention right here. Made with love in North Carolina. Isn't that great? Okay, we've been sitting a while, so I'm going to invite you to stand up and assume the Buddha pose. Palms up. Palms up. And just, if you have to fake it at first, that's okay. But just, I invite you to laugh. I invite you to laugh. Get your belly going. Thank you, Buddha. Thank you, Buddha. Thank you, Buddha. Every Wednesday night we have a service we call Oasis, and it happens at 7 o'clock, and it's this amazing eclectic mixture of pure unity. There's a little bit of Hinduism, there's oneness blessings that are offered to anybody who wants one, and there's the metta prayer. Buddha's metta prayer ends every Wednesday Oasis service. And I thought, since we have now meditated this way, we'll meditate this way. We say it 4 times. The first time is I, then we, then wait, then you, then we, then all beings. So let's say it together. We'll sing it finally, and then we'll come into a time of pure silence. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be happy. May all beings be filled with loving kindness. May all beings be well. May all beings be peaceful and at ease. May all beings